My boyfriend always left me alone, and my father-in-law would come over when he wasn't around. Between conversations and jokes, one thing led to another, and I ended up cheating with my father-in-law. The worst part is, it didn't stop there. My boyfriend was always busy. Always. Work, friends, going out, excuses. At first, I understood it. I even defended him when people said he was leaving me alone too much. I told myself it was just a phase, that things would change. But the nights kept passing, he wouldn't reply to my messages, and the house felt emptier every day. I was there, waiting for someone who almost never showed up. We lived close to his parents. Not in the same house, but close enough that his family was always around. And his father, my father-in-law, was the kind of person who showed up whenever something was needed. If something broke, he came. If I needed help with anything, he came. If my boyfriend wasn't there, he came. At first, everything was completely normal. Conversations in the kitchen, jokes, comments about how hard his son worked, about how fast time goes by. I'd offer him coffee, and he'd stay a little longer. Nothing strange. Nothing suspicious. It was, supposedly, just company. But loneliness does strange things to you. It makes you more open, more receptive. You start to appreciate a conversation too much, a shared laugh, someone who looks you in the eyes while listening. And he did that. He looked at me. He listened to me. He paid attention to me, something my boyfriend no longer did. The conversations got longer. The visits more frequent. He didn't just come to fix things anymore, he came to see how I was doing. He'd ask how I felt, if I was okay, if his son was taking care of me the way he should. And without realizing it, I started telling the truth. That I felt alone. That sometimes I didn't know if I still mattered to him. That I was tired of waiting. Nothing had ever happened. Never. But there was something between us. I don't know what it was, tension, maybe, but neither of us said it out loud. Conversations that lasted too long. Smiles that weren't uncomfortable, but weren't innocent either. I told myself I was overthinking it. That it was impossible. That it was just my mind playing tricks on me. Until one day, without warning, everything changed. We were in the living room. My boyfriend wasn't there, as usual. We were talking about nothing important. I laughed at something he said, and in that moment, something shifted inside me. For the first time, I saw my father-in-law as a man, not as my father-in-law. That moment felt endless. 1,000 thoughts ran through my mind. I thought about my boyfriend. I thought about how wrong it was. I thought about how much worse it would get if I kept going. And still, I didn't care. And that's when it happened. That was the day I cheated on my boyfriend for the first time. I'm not going to lie and say I didn't want it, because I did. But he made me feel valued. He made me feel like I mattered. Something I hadn't felt in a long time. And by the time I realized what I was doing, it was already too late. I told myself over and over that it had been a mistake. That it wouldn't happen again. That it would end there. But it didn't. Because after that, he kept coming over. And I kept being alone. And it became easier and easier to justify it. Easier not to think about the consequences. We were careful, discreet. No one suspected anything. And just like that, without even realizing it, what started as a mistake became part of our everyday lives. Days went by. Weeks went by. My boyfriend was still absent. I kept lying. And my father-in-law, he was no longer just my boyfriend's father. He was someone I shared my frustrations with, my sadness. Someone who kept me company when I was alone. Someone who understood my problems. And someone who made me feel valued as a woman. We never talked about feelings. We never said it was right. But we never said it was wrong either. We just kept going. No one knew. It was our secret. And that's how the months passed. 7 months of lies. 7 months of looking my boyfriend in the face and pretending everything was fine. 7 months of seeing his father at family gatherings, sitting at the same table, smiling, acting normal. No one saw anything. No one imagined anything. I knew it was wrong. Of course I did. But he was the only one who was there for me. The only one who kept me company. And that was what I needed: attention, presence. Something my boyfriend had taken away without even realizing it. What I didn't know, what I never saw coming, was how it would all end. Because when a lie goes on for that long, you start to believe it will last forever. And that was my biggest mistake. That day, the day everything fell apart, started like any other. I had no idea it would be the last day of the lie. I didn't know that within a few hours everything would be exposed. And even less that my boyfriend would find out in the worst possible way. He came home early that day. No warning. No message. I didn't know, and if I had, maybe nothing would have happened the way it did. His father had arrived a little earlier, like so many times before. My boyfriend was supposedly working late. Same story as always. I didn't even question it anymore, and neither did his father. He walked in, closed the door, sat in the living room. We talked. He asked how I was. About how empty the house had been lately. About how little he was seeing his son. About me. Everything felt calm. Too calm. At some point, we moved into the kitchen. And, well, you know. That had become our routine. Nothing needed to be said. After 7 months, there were no nerves left, just habit. A false sense of confidence. The feeling that no one would ever find out. We never thought someone would walk through the door at that exact moment. The sound of the door. Unmistakable. My body reacted before my mind did. A sudden cold feeling hit my stomach. I looked at him. He looked at me. We both knew, at the same time, it was over. The door opened. My boyfriend walked in. The first thing I saw was his face. He didn't look tired. He didn't look distracted. He looked confused. His eyes went straight to us. He didn't have to see anything explicit, because in that moment, we weren't doing anything. Just talking. But the scene spoke for itself. The closeness. The way we looked at each other. That tension you can't hide when you're caught in something like that. He froze. Completely froze. Like his body didn't know how to process what he was seeing. "What's going on here?" he asked. No one answered. I couldn't. His father couldn't either. The silence was unbearable. My boyfriend looked at his father first. Then at me. Then back at his father. As if trying to make sense of what he was seeing. As if waiting for one of us to laugh and say it was some kind of terrible joke. But no one laughed. No one spoke. Tell me this isn't what it looks like, he said, his voice already breaking. I felt like I couldn't breathe. I could have lied. I could have made something up. But after 7 months, I didn't have the strength to keep lying. And I think he knew that before I even said a word. I'm sorry, I whispered. It's exactly what it looks like. That was it. Nothing else needed to be said. His father took a step forward, like he wanted to explain. My boyfriend raised his hand to stop him. No, he said. Don't say anything. The look he gave his own father is something I'll never forget. It wasn't just anger, it was disappointment, disbelief, disgust, pain. All at once. Then he looked at me. I watched him run a hand over his face, take a few steps, lean against the wall, take a deep breath, like his body was failing him. How could you do this to me? I didn't know what to say. Because deep down, the answer was cruel and simple, he wasn't there. His father tried to speak again. To say it had been a mistake. That it wasn't like that. That things just happened. My boyfriend looked at him with a mix of anger and sadness that was honestly frightening. You're my father, he said. There's no mistake that explains this. Then he looked at me one last time. Pack your things, he said. Leave. I didn't say anything. I just grabbed my things and left. I took whatever I could find, threw clothes into a bag without even looking. My hands felt clumsy. My body felt heavy. My mind was blank. I walked past his father without looking at him. I couldn't. I didn't want to. When I walked out the door, I heard something break behind me. I didn't turn around. I just kept walking. That was the last time I was ever in that house. After that came the messages. The calls. The explanations that didn't matter anymore. My boyfriend didn't want to see me. Didn't want to hear me. And he was right, there was nothing I could say that would fix what I had done. His father disappeared from my life overnight. As if he had never existed. As if those 7 months had never happened. And in a way, that hurt even more. Because I realized I meant nothing to him. Just another affair. I lost my partner. I lost his trust. I lost my home. Sometimes I think about how things could have been different if my boyfriend had been more present, if I had spoken up sooner, if someone had stopped it in time. But what ifs don't change anything. And honestly, I think I deserved it. Because this wasn't an accident. It wasn't just one night. It was an affair that lasted 7 months. And after making the wrong choice over and over again, I ended up here. Alone.